Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, I have two stories. One dealing with a pale crawler encounter, and the other, a mournful Bigfoot story, folks. Both stories are fascinating, but we'll start with the pale crawler one first. Pale crawler humanoid, unsettling encounter in rural France. Let's hear about this unsettling encounter and how these people dealt with it over in France right now, folks. While driving through the French countryside late one summer night, two friends witnessed a pale, silent figure crossing the road under their headlights. Its unnaturally floaty movements and complete lack of reaction left them unnerved and questioning reality. Let's get into the actual story now. Hello, I still don't know what we saw that night. I'm not posting this to scare anyone. I need to put this somewhere because it has been stuck in my head for years. If anyone has experienced something similar in the area, I would love to hear about it. This happened when I was about 18 or 19 on a summer night, probably late July or early August. It was warm outside, so a friend and I had gotten into the habit of driving around late at night to talk. We'd do loops outside the city on the quite empty roads that cut through the French countryside. There was no real destination, just driving and talking with the windows cracked and the music low. This one night, it was around 1:30 a.m. The road was empty, no streetlights, no visible houses, just open fields on both sides. We were going slowly, maybe 50 kilometers an hour, discussing something personal, when suddenly my friend hit the brakes. He didn't yell or panic, just a sharp, reflexive stop. There, in the headlights, I saw a man crossing the road. He had come out of the field to our left, walking toward the one on the right. What immediately struck me was that he was completely naked. His skin was an oddly pale, flat beige, almost like a dull gray, but that's not what stuck with me. It was the way he moved. He didn't walk like a drunk person or someone who was hurt. It was more like he didn't weigh anything. His steps were slow and floaty, as if he were forcing his body to move forward. His arms hung loosely, and his head was tilted slightly down. He never turned towards us. No reaction to the lights, the sound, nothing. He crossed slowly and disappeared into the field on the other side. We were silent for a couple of seconds. Then my friend muttered, "Was he naked?" and suddenly accelerated. We drove back toward the main road, not saying much. I wasn't exactly scared, but I felt a deep, uneasy knot in my stomach. It was as if what I saw didn't make sense. Not just the man, but the entire moment. The next day, out of curiosity, we returned in the afternoon. We recognized the spot easily because of a twisted tree by the roadside, but when we looked around, there was nothing. No trail, no path, no house nearby, just two big fields and the same quiet road cutting through. I have no rational explanation for what we saw, but I know what I witnessed, and I'm certain it wasn't normal. He never looked at us. His head was slightly down the whole time, and even when he crossed right in front of the car, there was nothing, as if we didn't exist for a moment. I avoided that road at night for a long time. Even now, I still feel a strange sensation when I drive past that spot, DD. Indeed, DD's story is incredibly weird, folks, but does sound like other pale crawler encounters, we have to say, folks. Especially the beige, grayish skin. It sounds very much like one. Except, in this camp, folks, it sounds like this entity was more human-like, but then again, we didn't actually see or basically get a description of its face. It could have been maybe a man, but I doubt it. Either way, let's move on to the next article. Mournful, crying Bigfoot encountered by family in White City, Illinois. And you're exactly, what this family encountered, folks, where they heard this beast wailing and maybe just screaming in the night, I guess. So let's read on. A family in White City, Illinois reported hearing strange mournful cries and later witnessing a black fur-covered creature running on all fours before rising to its hind legs and scaling an embankment with ease. Let's continue with their story and read the full account. I'm writing to you from West Central Illinois. My wife, daughter, and I used to spend countless hours playing in a creek near our home in White City, Illinois. This is primarily rural, wooded area situated between St. Louis, Missouri, and Springfield, Illinois. I never expected to have such an experiences in this area, but here are our encounters in my own words. The first few encounters occurred in late spring and summer. We would ride our side-by-side vehicle down the road and park near a bridge over Cherokee Creek. This area was very private, allowing us to spend the afternoon wading through the creek, searching for arrowheads, old glass bottles, and more. After heavy rains, The layout of the creek would change, so there was always something new to discover each trip. On a typical day, we brought a bucket to pick up trash. My wife and I would sit on the sandy banks while our daughter splashed around and played in the water. On multiple occasions, we heard what we thought was a cougar. The sound was strange to us, but we never considered that it could have been one of the forest people. The only way I can describe it is that it sounded like a sad Wookiee, the character from Star Wars. We initially attributed the noise to a cougar, which is not common in the area, but could be possible. I always carried a weapon, so we weren't very concerned, just aware. This occurred 2 or 3 times. I drove over the bridge daily for work. I believe it was in 2019, and I was working 7 days a week because of the flooding from the Mississippi River. One afternoon, around 4 o'clock p.m., I was crossing the bridge and heading along the road. The creek is situated at the bottom of an area that is half wooded and half farmland. As I came down, I saw trees forming a canopy on both sides of the road, and the sun was shining through the lush foliage, providing clear visibility. Suddenly, I saw something run out from the trees on the left side of the road on all fours. It was solid black, covered in short to medium-length hair, and about the size of a black bear. The encounter happened so fast that I only have a vague memory of it. The creature ran out from the left and across the road to the right side on the right. There was an embankment that would require strength and grip to ascend easily. While running on all fours, this being stood up on its hind legs and climbed the embankment with ease. The whole experience was disorienting. A few minutes later, I called my neighbor, who had lived in the area for almost 50 years. I asked him if he had ever heard of bears being in the area, and he mentioned that some had been released to help control the cougar population far to the south. However, he assured me that there were no bears around, and he suggested I was crazy. I've discounted my experience for several years, but the only crazy part is his assertion about releasing bears. I've been watching your channels for almost 2 years now, and I'm confident that what I saw was neither a black bear nor a cougar. The speed and agility of the creature, along with the sounds my family and I heard, are unmistakable. I'm thankful our experience wasn't as traumatic as others have reported, and I wish the best for those who have had negative encounters. We no longer live in that area and are currently in a 100% rural setting where we only hear coyotes at night and the occasional fox along the tree line behind our house. I've attached some aerial photos of the area. The location of our encounters is in the center of the photographs. The Google Map Street View is in the exact location from where I saw the being cross the road and ascend the embankment J. Okay, very interesting story, folks. So, indeed, folks, people have seen some very odd things. And these 2 stories are 2 examples of this phenomena, folks. Now, both accounts are very strange. In the first account, well, we talked about this pell crawler, and it was very, very bizarre. But not as bizarre as others. But the fact in this particular account, the witness, or should I say the witnesses, mentioned that this being was rather floaty, as if it were literally floating through the air, or basically maybe not even actually, well, truly before them, as if it were basically maybe just being projected from another dimension into this one. And the other account with this black-furred Bigfoot, it almost comes across like a dogman encounter. So, maybe both accounts aren't exactly describing typical pell crawler or maybe Bigfoot encounters, but they're both very strange because they both have this air of mystery and unknownness about them that you see with, well, most Bigfoot and other cryptid encounters. So I would say, folks, from the descriptions alone, both men and witnesses were telling the truth. But, folks, do you believe it? Do you believe that these men actually, well, saw these creatures? Or is it just all a tall tale? I have to say I kind of believe these witnesses, especially because they really do feel like they're telling the truth here, folks. The way they describe this, it just feels like there's just something very truthful about the way they described it. So in my opinion, yes, I think these are true stories. Either way, folks, we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics That Are Bad For You. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure at the part of the bell that'll give you all future notifications, and please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.